So this evening I'm going to play around with Puffy paint. So I picked these Puffy paints from Typo and they were £10. So we're all limited in colours, but I just wanted to play around with it because I'm kind of interested in Puffy paint. The only time I've heard it is this YouTuber who fixes like squishies and stuff, and sometimes she'll use Puffy paint to kind of as a type of kind of glue thing. And to create a base in parts that are kind of uneven and everything like that. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try Puffy art. So I'm gonna use this board, which is usually I buy cheap boards, but I saw this when I was shopping online at Craft Art, and it's a Winsor and Newton board. Definitely recommend if you're going to do paintballs, because this is one that's definitely not going to bend. You'll find the cheaper ones will bend. It doesn't bother me or anything like that, but I know that's like the common complaint with like canvas boards, but this isn't going to bend. Like, it's pretty thick and sturdy. Puffy paint is supposed to give that like kind of 3D textured look without using like textured paste. Obviously the textured paste is better, but this is kind of like a fun way of doing kind of like a textured 3D kind of painting thing. So the paint's not the most blendable thing, but I don't think it's meant to be blendable in a way. I think the idea is you just use it to draw whatever you do, and then that be that. But it's not, I'd like a little bit of blendability, but then again, if you want to do something like that, then you could probably use the mixed art and use this with with normal acrylic paint. But yeah. So far I can see how this is more aimed at kind of like a kid's activity, because it's kind of, you don't really have that much control. I mean, I say you don't have that much control. You have plenty of control. It could be just because it's like my first time using them. But yeah, it's a bit tricky to apply. As I said, it's probably best if you mix it with not mix it together, but obviously you use acrylic and Puffy paint. I think they pair together really well, depending on what you're doing, that is. But that's the final design. I have no idea how this is going to dry, because I've seen so many different videos of how the Puffy paint's dried. So I think it just depends on if you've made it yourself or what company you bought it from. So it's going to be an interesting one. So I'm going to check back in the next day, but you can sort of tell already how it's all kind of setting in, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to describe it, but to me it looks like things are happening. Like this is going to be its like final kind of textured look and feel. But yeah. So it is the next day now. I ended up going over all the blues because when I touched that blue, it smudged, and so I kind of just then added another line of blue on top of the blue, so it matches with all the other blues. Honestly, everything else is dry. I don't even want to say that it's overhyped, because I know many people use Puffy paint. I think because I'm so used to using textured paste, and textured paste is a lot better. You get a lot better effect, whereas this it just is basically thick paint, which, I mean, I suppose you could use it to add to like normal kind of paint, but other than that, it's kind of like I'm probably not gonna necessarily go out my way and reach for these. I might add them to other paintings and everything, but to be fair, you can just apply paint to get the same effect. You can just use normal paint and just add like a thick layer of it, to be fair. So there's nothing necessarily special about it. It might be better if you make it your own, because people who've made them their own, you tend to see a better like effect. But overall, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it was cool to try, but honestly, it's just there's not really a massive difference, to be fair. I'd rather just use my what's it paste, textured paste, than kind of reach for puffy paint. But yeah, but it's fun for kids. I would say it's probably definitely directed more at kids, to be fair. But yeah.